There we go. Okay. Hello, everyone who just caught I was staring angrily at StreamYard because it was taking a second. So it wasn't at you guys.
That's the screenshot of, we're going to put for what makes people click on the YouTube video after this. It's like, why is she so angry? Like, what happened,
Yeah. It got scared of me and it worked. So that is all that matters. Hello, everyone. Awesome. Welcome. Week 8. Here we are. We have some awesome stuff to share today. If you've been paying attention on Twitter, super excited. Also, yeah, we are streaming on Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. If you are not able to see our chats or replies back to you, it's because StreamYard does not let us reply back to Twitter messages for some reason from StreamYard. But we do have some folks hopping around replying in Twitter. So just want to give a call out there. But yeah, awesome. Eric, kick us off.
Yeah. Well, I think I know why StreamYard doesn't let you respond on Twitter from StreamYard. I think is I want to say like Twitter's API is like $50,000 a month to access or something like that. Which I mean, that's like a car. I mean, that's like not even that's like a nice car, Like that's a lot. Like send a reply. I mean, I just don't. I think the ROI isn't worth it. I don't know what we pay for StreamYard, but I think that'd be $50,000 more than I'd want to. But anyways, great to see everyone. We got a fun one today. I think this is the first time on a office hour, like our weekly office hours, where someone is here that is not an employee of StackBlitz Inc. And so for those who have been kind of following on Twitter today, ever since we launched Bolt, like when we put Bolt online, was it like 9 weeks ago now, something like that? We open sourced, kind of the core components of Bolt. Because when we were kind of going and building Bolt, there's just not a lot of good examples of real world production grade AI applications that you can kind of go look at and you'll see how folks have built really great agents. And so when we kind of looked at it, and I think we talked about this in previous office hours, I mean, it's kind of clear to us that like the system prompt and some of the orchestration on this stuff, there wasn't a huge strategic advantage or something, it's easy to kind of get these things to spit out the system prompts anyways. So we just like made it open source. We're like, we think that this is going to be valuable. And we just kind of intrinsically, like we're all software engineers here and love open source, and StackBlitz does a lot of stuff in open source. So we thought, hey, it'd be kind of fun, and it just kind of spiritually feels like the right thing to do to like open source, some of the core stuff. And I think, kind of in retrospect, I'm so glad we did that because there's been just kind of this explosion of creativity that's happened in the open source world. So, in particular, our team has been slammed, the past 9-10 weeks or whatever, just keeping Bolt.News production stuff online, and improving and adding, relevant features or whatever. And we've been wanting to come and invest in the open source side of things. And in that interim, some folks have stepped up and made, an incredible community has formed in building a really hackable, forkable version of Bolt for local, and kind of be way beyond what we had initially open source. But it was kind of we were like, it would be cool at some point to do things in this realm, where like you can swap any LLM provider in. You can we go and iterate on different types of integrations and functionality. And anyway, so I'm really excited. We were supposed to have Cole off screen and then just do this big reveal, but Cole's here. So Cole, you can see Cole, which by the way, Cole, can I break the news about your backdrop?
Yeah, you can feel free.
The first time I chatted with Cole, I was like, that's an amazing room you're in. Like that's well designed. And it turns out that is a virtual background that Cole's using. Blew my mind. I mean, it's like that looks so real. I couldn't believe it. But I mean, maybe, I don't know, reality, that's the thing with AI, reality and virtual are kind of merging. So maybe it is real, who knows? But anyway, so Cole's here. So Cole has created a project. If you guys seen the repo, Bolt.New, NELM, also called AutoDev. And, Cole's been, creating this with his community, and I think it's gotten to like 6,000 stars, and I think some thousand number of forks, right? And it's incredible. I mean, you can use any LLM with it. There's tons of really cool functionality that people are iterating on, etc. Like actually, one of my friends, Cole, I don't know if I talked to you about this. Sean Wang Swix, he's on Twitter. He actually forked your repo and added a voice mode to it for like an OpenAI Dev Day, I think, in Singapore or something like that. There's like a video of his keynote. But anyways, I mean, it's enabled this sort of creativity. And anyways, the exciting news we want to share is we've teamed up with Cole and his community to create what's now called Bolt.DIY, which is this amazing kind of forkable, hackable version of Bolt. And so I want to hand it over to you, Cole. And I'm kind of, from your perspective, I'm just kind of curious to hear, the background of, AutoDev, kind of how you initially built it and the community that's formed there. And just, and then maybe we can see a demo of the latest Bolt.DIY stuff that you've been making.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the office hours here. It's a pleasure to be here and to partner with all of you guys to bring this, AutoDev project into being the official open source Bolt as Bolt.DIY. It's super exciting. Like, it still feels unreal to me that this is actually happening. Just a bit of background. It's kind of a funny story how this all started. So I started my YouTube channel a few months ago, just teaching everything generative AI. And it really started to get into a big focus on local AI. And so like whatever I'm looking at, I'm always curious, like, can I run this with local AI, even fork it and make it so I can use Ollama with, Quen or Llama 3.2, whatever. So like I did that for other things like OpenAI Swarm, for example. I made my own version to run local there. And then there was one time, like probably about 2 months ago now, where I was just at Barnes & Noble with my wife, and she had to go use the restroom quick. And I'm the kind of guy where like I got to like fill every minute with productivity. So I'm sitting there just on my phone right outside the bathrooms in Barnes & Noble, looking at the Bolt.IO open source repository, just going through the code. I'm like, wait a second, they use the Vercel AI SDK. Like, I'm familiar with that because I was actually in a competition hosted by NVIDIA and LangChain back in June, where I used that a lot. And so I'm looking through the code here just on my phone. And I'm like, wait a second, I know how I could actually fork this and use any large language model, like with Ollama or Gemini or GPT, whatever. And so then the next evening, I just spent a couple hours and wrote it up. And like everyone thinks that I use like Cursor or AI to make it, but I didn't. I actually initially made the fork without any AI help. Probably would have saved time. I would use AI going forward. But back then, I even though I'm a software engineer, at heart, I actually was a late adopter of like using AI coding assistants. But anyway, threw that together and then made a video on it like 2 days later. Just kind of at this point, not thinking that something huge would come out of it. I was just thinking this is something really cool to share with people. Like, one, here's how to fork an open source repo and just get involved with open source in that way. And then also, here's how you can do something cool with local LLMs using Bolt.new, which is incredible. I mean, you guys have built something amazing. But then after I posted that video, 4 pull requests came through. People were implementing some cool stuff. I'm like, oh, that's neat. And it was cool enough for like it deserved another video. So I made another video like a week later, just showcasing those changes. And then 20 pull requests came through the next week. And so I'm like, oh, shoot. Well, I mean, if I did one for 4, I got to do one for 20. And then even more and more pull requests came through. Started forming a community, and people are saying like, I really want to like dive into this and contribute along with you. And before I knew it, there was a whole community formed around it, doing incredible things, implementing all these super neat features like loading in local projects and adding in more providers, like just a million different things. And I can share my screen in a bit just to give like a little bit of a demo and show what we've got. But in the repository, like on the homepage, we have our README where we have like all these different features that people have developed. And so I've made a big point to like give credit to everybody for all the things that are being developed. And it's insane, like the number of features that we have. It's just so cool, like how everyone's collaborating together. And we've definitely like embodied the ethos of open source really, really well with what we're doing. So yeah, that's a bit of an intro of how it all got started.
I totally agree. And like, you've done an amazing job. And like, the first time I actually became aware of what, of the fork you had made, it might've been maybe the first or second video, but the title of the video was something like, like I forked Bolt.new and made it way better. So something like that. Right.
Yep.
And so one of my friends was like, yo, have you seen this? Like, oh, is this okay? Blah, blah, blah. And I opened it. I was like, yeah, this is incredible. And I think I commented on the video. I was like, hey, like I'm the CEO of StackBlitz. Like this is great job. Like this is sick.
Thank you.
But it was, and it just kept going, and so then I became a subscriber on YouTube, and I was like, okay, this is not just one thing. It just kept growing and growing. And I think for everyone on our team, we're like, wow, this is really cool, because we a lot of people in the earlier weeks of Bolt were like, hey, why aren't you working on the open source version? We're like, we're just trying to stay online, like we barely are keeping our servers online. So it's just amazing to see the progress and the creativity that you and the folks that you've cultivated in the community there to build, because this is so cool. There's really there's not a lot of other good examples of this sort of thing. And as far as, again, like AI, code gen sort of products, this stuff, a lot of this stuff is closed source. So anyway, so it's really cool. It's really cool to see. You've done, you and the community done an incredible job of pulling together. I think I just want to say, like, you in particular, your videos are phenomenal. I think that's been a huge part of why folks, why your fork became really, really a sensation, is you do an incredible job of breaking down the functionality you're adding to it, and when you're landing new pull requests, like what exactly is going into it, kind of the roadmap of it, and anyway, so just like really huge kudos and credit to you, because I mean it's it's a hard thing to be able to do, and it's kind of rare, I guess, to see folks kind of really take a project and be able to lift it off the ground in a meaningful, sustained way, which you've done. So anyways, yeah, we're so stoked to be working with you and all the folks that have been working on what's now Bolt.DIY. But so how about we see a demo of this thing? Because I think I've played around with it. It's been I think probably a couple of weeks since I played. So I'm kind of curious, because I know there's been some new stuff that's gotten added in, and it's got a little different coat of paint a little bit and stuff. So maybe pull up your screen and let's see this thing in action.
Yeah, definitely. But even before we do that, I don't want to just skip past what you said. Thank you for the kind words, Eric. That means a lot. And really, this wouldn't be possible without the community. Like, it's gotten to the point where my role is very much like just keep things organized for everybody. And as much as I love coding, and initially I was contributing a lot, like most of the PRs are not for me right now, because I'm just so busy enabling everyone else to build what they want to build. And so, yeah, like it really wouldn't be possible with the amazing people that we have making changes, and have a whole maintainer team that's just doing a fantastic job keeping the ship afloat, because there's a lot of issues and PRs to go through, as you guys know, for sure. Just because it's crazy what happens when you have an LLM dictate the flow of an entire application. But yeah, I can go into a demo for sure. So let me, I'm just going to move this to my other monitor, and then I can present here.
Yeah, I feel it. I yearn for deterministic software at this point, Yeah.
Actually, yeah. One more thing on that really quick. There's this framework that I really like called Pydantic AI. I made a video about it recently. It's just like a Python framework for building agents. And in their documentation, they said that a large language model, you can think of it as a terrible database, like the worst experience you've had with the database, and 100 times worse. If they weren't so bloody useful, we would never touch them.
So true. So true.
And especially for running local large language models with Bolt.DIY, I mean, that's even more true, because you guys are using, Claude 3.5 Sonnet with a prompt that's made for Claude 3.5 Sonnet. A lot of people, they try Bolt.DIY and they're using Llama 3.2 3B, like this tiny, relatively small large language model. And yeah, you're not going to get the best results, but it's still fun to play around with.
Totally. Well, I think that to me is what's amazing about this, is like the folks that are making these models now. I've chatted with some of these folks, and they're going and taking your fork and going and running their models through it, and trying to actually make it better, to actually run these things. So I think that's, to me, the most exciting thing is, Bolt.DIY. This is having a huge impact on just where the future of AI code gen is going for the folks that are actually training models. Because this, again, how else can you really train? How can you really test a real world, sort of application directly if you're actually someone who's making one of these models? If you have your own chat product, maybe you do it that way. But none of the you look at all the folks out there, none of these folks had anything compared to, running a real operating system and, the code gen aspects happening here. Right. So anyways, so super cool stuff.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, can you guys see my screen? Is this working as intended?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So for those of you who haven't seen Bolt.DIY before, I mean, this is going to look really familiar because we're definitely trying to keep it similar to Bolt.new because there is a connection here. Like there's a very mutually beneficial relationship between Bolt.new and Bolt.DIY because we're going to be sharing ideas. And so the goal is to keep it similar. And so, yeah, I mean, it looks very familiar here, but obviously there's a couple of other bells and whistles that might not look as familiar because this is an open source repo where people are like so many different people are contributing amazing features. And so like you can import chats and folders. I mean, some of these things are in Bolt.new as well, of course. You can clone a Git repository. But then the real magic where it all started is just all the different providers that you can select here. So like if I want to use Ollama running on my computer, like these are all of the local LLMs that I have installed on my machine right now. And I can use any one of these to start building an app. And then you can even switch models in the middle of coding. So once I'm actually in the web container view where I have it generated a project on the right side, I can, for a follow-up prompt, use a different model. So I'm not even stuck to one model after I, send in the first prompt. So it's very dynamic in that way. And then we have this whole, if I go to the settings here, this whole pane here for settings where we're going to be implementing a lot of features and even making it so that you can like toggle features on and off, because the goal is to make sure that we don't have just this insane feature bloat as people contribute more and more. And so that's one of the big things that we're working on evolving into with Bolt.DIY is making it possible for it to still stay as a very foundational project while giving people the ability to be very experimental with what they're implementing. So yeah, I'll just go with the classic Claude 3.5 Sonnet and generate an app here. It's going to look very, very similar to Bolt.new. The same feel, the same text streaming. Everything is slightly different with the coloring because we have this nice purple with the new Bolt.DIY logo, which looks really, really clean. There was a while where we were just using the plain UI that was in just like the OG open source Bolt.new that didn't have like any blue, any coloring at all. And then we implemented that at one point, and now we kind of have our own branding just to distinguish between the two, while still, like I said, keeping it looking very, very similar. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't want to like spend 30 minutes diving into all the features and everything. I certainly could, and I would enjoy doing that. But I mean, yeah, I think this is a good demo just to show people kind of what it's like.
This looks hot. I mean, I love the color. Mm-hmm. I mean, it kind of makes me think like on Bolt.new itself, maybe people can choose their accent color because like, dang, like
yes. Yeah.
I don't know. Like that looks cool. What do we say in the chat? I kind of, we got our own color scheme, but man, this looks, I mean,
Joanne,
it looks,
yeah, Joanne, prepare for the next week.
Live coder. Yeah. But this is extremely well done. And I love, by the way, the chat prompt where it's, I mean, I like that you integrated that. I mean, just for the local, I mean, it's just what, you're going to be flipping between the different models probably, right? And just having that visibility and the ability to switch there is like really, really cool. Really well done.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and you can even use there's free models out there. Like with Google, you can use the experimental model. And I believe it's 100 requests or 200 requests a day. That's the limit. But I mean, you can do a lot of it.
Like, I'm kind of curious, I'm curious to see some of the other models, like just kind of see what they do or how they perform or whatever happens.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, Gemini, I've had an okay experience with. Gemini just overall, like even going beyond this experimental model, I haven't had the best experience with overall, even outside of Bolt. But yeah, we can give it a shot. Like I can even right here just say like add a dark theme.
I know that
I don't have my API key set right now, so I can't.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know someone from the Gemini side. I was chatting with them a day or two ago. Apparently, they launched some new stuff that it's like their best coding models yet.
Okay.
I need to go pull the info, but that might be worth a video on your channel if it's it's good.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I love reviewing new models. It's something that I do whenever there's one that's like very groundbreaking, like Qwen 2.5 Coder 32B, and that came out. I made a video, and I mean, people really appreciated that because it's an insanely powerful local model. And we're getting to the point where this gap that we currently have between the massive closed source models like Claude 3.5 Sonnet, GPT 4.0 or O1, and then the local LLMs, like that gap is diminishing. And even like next year, I feel like it's going to get to the point where anything that you could run through an API going out to Anthropic or OpenAI, whatever, like you could just run that locally. And then even with like Llama 3.3 that came out last week, I mean, that's pushing the boundaries yet again. And so we're certainly getting there.
Totally. And there's a question here, so you can do this for free. The answer is like, yeah, I mean, you can run Bolt.DIY locally for free. And like what Cole's mentioning on there's some AI models you can download and run locally on, on your own GPU.
Right.
But if you're using things like, and Sonnet, like, so Bolt.new, our production app, it heavily relies on Sonnet 3.5, which at this point in time is still the best model in the world for writing code. For that, you'll need an Anthropic API key. And that costs money, and you will pay more likely than what Bolt.new will cost you on a subscription. You will pay more to actually use your own API key locally because we can do volume discounting with our upstream providers because of the volume we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so for all the paid sort of like Gemini or et cetera, you bring your own API key, and then they will bill you as you use it or whatever. But there are some great open source models that Cole's been mentioning, and I think is this Quen that you're running here?
This is QWQ that I have selected, which is a variation of Quen. I see. But I have this is the one that I was talking about earlier, 2.5 coder. Yeah.
And do you have that one running locally, like on your machine right now?
I do. Yep. And it's a pretty beefy model. I wouldn't want to try to run it right now because it'll take a bit to load it into my GPU. But I did build a custom setup, like a two 3090 graphics cards just to run large language models because AI is my life right now. And so it's definitely a worthy investment.
I've got a gaming PC I haven't touched in like 6 months. I need to go fire that thing up and actually.
You should. Yeah.
I mean, I had messed around like when Stable Diffusion first, kind of came out. I think that was like, it was like winter of, was that like 22 or 3? I can't remember whenever that happened. I had installed it and, I was running on my 3090, but I need to go fire this stuff up and actually play around with it. I wonder actually, I guess on the new Macs too, I imagine their graphics units are probably good enough to run some of this stuff, maybe. Depending if you're on the beefier side, but yeah.
Yeah, the new M4 chips are really good for running LLMs. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I guess couple things I wanted to mention really quick. If you go to the URL Bolt.DIY, I can even show right now if I just go to Bolt.DIY, it'll automatically redirect you to the repository that we have. And so, it's very open source in nature because you go here and it gives you the instructions on how to set it up yourself, both with Docker and without Docker. We have those instructions, and I'm not going to get into the technicalities of it right now, but it's very easy to set up. And then also what I referenced earlier, these are all the features that we've implemented. And at first, this used to just be like a massive list with a bunch of blanks because these are all the things that I dreamed about and people were dreaming about with me, kind of the comments of the initial videos. And now we have a majority of these things implemented already. And then these are the things that we're really looking to nail through next. That's our repository here. Super easy to get started. And then very, very last thing, we have our community for Bolt.DIY over in the Automator think tank. So Automator is the platform that I've been building up behind the scenes that's partnering with StackBlitz for this. We're the ones that are bringing the platform together for Bolt.DIY. And so, if you're interested in being a part of this, come over to, it's just thinktank.automator.ai, head on over and join. And we're doing everything related to Bolt.DIY here. So I think that's the last thing I wanted to share.
Amazing. Heck yeah. Yeah, I think, let's see. Does anyone have questions? Let's get some Q&A going here while we've got Cole. It'll be awesome. Let's see. Questions on Bolt.DIY. Scrolling through. Do we have any star? There we go. This is a good question. Cole, I'm curious. I know there's some like benchmarks and stuff. I'd be kind of curious if you have what your answer to this is.
Yeah. So, first of all, good question, Eric. Overall, like the whole space of just evaluating LLMs is it's just not well evolved right now. So there isn't really like something that's like, yes, I would just go do this. This is the automated framework to evaluate LLMs for coding or agents or whatever. Like there really isn't that at this point. So side note, that's a good opportunity for a business. If anyone's super intelligent and wants to dive into creating a framework for evaluating LLMs. But like for me personally, whenever a new LLM comes out, there's just a couple of prompts that I have saved that I tested out with Bolt.DIY. So I'll just download it through Llama, throw it into Bolt.DIY, and then just paste in a couple of prompts that I have that I know, like, oh yeah, Claude 3.5, Sonnet knocks us out of the park. Qwen 2.5 Coder 32B mostly gets it right. So I kind of just have that idea in my mind of like how existing models that I know are good usually perform. And I just compare that. So it's nothing like, there's no number that's spit out where it's like, this is a 0.76 out of 1 kind of thing. But it would be cool to get there for sure.
Yeah, one thing too, there's also echoing what Cole said, there's some stuff like SWE bench where people are trying to create benchmarks. But the problem with these things is like, they're very contrived, where it's like, okay, well, here's this problem in the code. Can you fix it? And it's like, okay, yeah, like it's good if it can do that. But when you're talking about something like Bolt, where it's like, hey, the user enters a prompt that's like, hey, make me a personal website using this framework and this. That's it. It's hard to have a deterministic sort of test on that because some of this stuff is subjective. Like how good does the site look? So certainly, like, does it run without errors? So you can test that, but like, there's kind of like there's a level of quality that is subjective, and certainly with like the system prompts that are going into something like Bolt, they're rather sophisticated, and so that's kind of where these things like SWE bench are kind of break down. Is like they can kind of look at pure syntax and things that you can evaluate true or false rather quickly, but like that, we're kind of moving to a new era where it's like, okay, yeah, these things are becoming pretty good at that. That's really not the main thing that frontier models need to hyper focus on. It's more this holistic agentic capabilities that we're talking about, which is why they're looking at Bolt, because this is one of the only things that's open source that's rather sophisticated, so anyway, so just wanted to mention that. Let's see, what other questions we got? Good question. All right, Cole.
All right. Yeah, that is a really good question, Tyler. So first of all, one thing that we need to improve that we're working on is kind of defining a template for submitting pull requests. Like, here's the specific information that we're looking for, and you have to be very detailed in these ways, or we're not even going to consider pulling your PR. I mean, of course, we'll comment and say like include these things, and then we'll take a look. But with that template, that's going to define things like what you did for testing, exactly what you changed, any unintended consequences you might foresee, and then like a video demoing what you did. And like if all those things are in place, and it's actually something that's going to provide a lot of value to Bolt.DIY without like a lot of potential unintended consequences, then we'll bring it in. And like we're pretty open to what we do bring in. We're not going to try to just like keep it really tight knit with the PRs that we accept, because we really want to keep the ethos of open source, getting a ton of people involved in this. And that kind of goes back to the thing I was talking about earlier, being able to toggle features on and off, and sort of having like a plugin system where all these things that people implement, like related to voice or related to using agents, or eventually implementing RAG into the system prompt, or not system prompt, just like the back end. Like all these things we want to make like toggleable features. And so that way, anything that we implement, there's not this risk that like we have this huge feature bloat and people are using this thing and certain things are breaking. And so that's what's going to allow us to really bring in a lot, which is what I'm really looking forward to. Yeah. And then like, I mean, in general, like if something is going to drastically change Bolt.DIY, we'll probably say like, break that into smaller pull requests. Let's just go through it slowly and not try to do too much at once. That's something that we've had probably the most amount of times we've had to reject a PR. It's just because it tries to do too much at once.
Makes sense.
All right. Once DIY is installed, do I have to keep installing each time you update it? Yeah, so good question. So basically to update Bolt.DIY, you do run the same commands that you did to install it initially. Like if you're running it with Docker, you would rebuild the image and then rerun it with Docker Compose. And if you are running it without Docker, you just run the pnpm commands. I know that you said non-techie asking, so it's probably a little technical, but basically you just follow the instructions in the README again. But because you already have things installed, those commands will run a lot faster, like 25 times faster. So it's not like you really feel like you're reinstalling it, but that's how you get the latest packages or get your image rebuilt so that you have the most up-to-date thing running on your machine. Do you like any LLMs for fixing errors from LLMs or optimizing the code? That's a good question. Honestly, for that, I would say whatever LLM you use to write the code is probably the best one to optimize it and fix the errors. I mean, different LLMs are better in different ways, but that's something I haven't tested a ton myself. One thing I will say, though, is kind of on the flip side. So you're talking about like once the code is generated, then fixing errors. On the other side, you have before the code is generated. That's where I think there's a lot of opportunity to actually use different models. For example, QWQ is a local reasoning model. It's kind of like O1, where it can do chain of thought before it produces a final response to the user. That kind of model is really good for doing pre-planning before you actually start writing the code. And so like one good combination a lot of people in our community have talked about is using QWQ for that initial reasoning, kind of planning the structure of the application to build in Bolt for you, and then using something like Qwen 2.5 Coder 32B to actually write the code. Then, like I said, once you're there fixing errors and stuff, it's probably best just to use the same model, or you could use a more powerful one. Like maybe you create the initial application with a local model, so you're not paying anything, but you would use Claude 3.5 Sonnet to fix the errors, because at that point the code is generated and won't cost as many tokens for just that last bit of fixing things or optimizing.
Awesome. I think we're probably coming up on time here. Just to I think it's a quick time check. But are there any last questions, Kate, that we want to get in here? I think we're just scrolling through. I think that covers a lot of them.
Sweet.
Heck yeah. Well, Cole, thanks for coming on, man. I've been looking forward to this for it's at least a couple of weeks. If we might be close. One since we first started chatting about this. But yeah, you've done an amazing job. Really stoked about, the future of Bolt.DIY here. So y'all check it out if you haven't. I mean, it's insanely cool. I'm going to be dusting off my gaming PC and firing up my 3090 to run some of these local models on this thing. So great work, sir.
Cool. Yeah, thank you, Eric, and thank you, everyone. This has been amazing, and I'm looking forward to that for all to come for Bolt.new and Bolt.DIY. So,
heck yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you bet. Feel free to stick around. And I know there's one thing you said you wanted to see the first sneak peek of here that we got coming. And so I think with that, the other thing that we announced earlier this week was we're doing some stuff with Supabase. For those that might have missed it, Tommy, can you pull up the tweet? Can you show the little Costco sampler of what's to come, and maybe we'll expand on that little sampler.
Yes, I shall. 1 second.
If you find this tab.
I have the tab. It's just too many Bolt tweets, man. So many Bolt tweets.
I love it.
I've prepared my tabs.
So yeah, I mean, I think one of the folks over at Supabase are amazing, and as folks have been trying to build more and more sophisticated web applications with Bolt. I mean, common things. The Mauricio litmus test of any app you'd want to build needs auth, database, and payments, right? That's Mauricio. For those who are just like tuning in, Mauricio is a member of our community. I actually see Mauricio in the YouTube comments right now. But that's something Mauricio had said to me maybe a month ago, and it's that's we kind of stuck with that as like a North Star of, hey, what's the stuff that we want to land in the next versions of Bolt. And so we're really leaning into Supabase, and we're working on an integration that, I mean, I don't think I've ever kind of with what's common. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite this deeply integrated and smooth and amazing, like local or online or otherwise. And it's going to have everything you can do with Supabase, whether it's auth, database, webhooks, I mean, all of it. Right. So I think Tomic's got just the screen share going here. So maybe we can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. So basically, the idea here is, we are in Bolt itself. We are, training Bolt how to really use Supabase to the fullest. And as for the points where right now, if you're using Supabase and Bolt, it says, hey, go to the Supabase dashboard and like run this SQL query or whatever, or this migration. Instead of you having to go back and forth, it's just built in to the experience, like custom UI where you're, applying schema changes or, enabling authentication and, and it's pretty incredible. And so I guess, maybe we can, like, let's start off, like, what's the status on this? Like, we've had a lot of folks that have, I think it was like some thousands of people that have, raised their hand to try this thing out. And so engineering folks on this call, where is it? The people want the Supabase integration, what's going on here? What's the latest status?
So the goal is still to ship it this week. That's a summary, but we can also give a sneak peek.
Yeah, let's see a sneak peek. I think the tangible answers, folks have been saying, when can we try this out? And so we've got the first kind of internal beta testing happening right now of this. Tomorrow, we are going to be pulling in the first external people to try this thing out. If that looks good on Friday, we're gonna open up, the beta, the private beta to everyone who's, in our Discord and the Twitter DM threads that we've had going here. So this is happening. This is happening. And this is just the beginning. I mean, this over the coming weeks. I mean, this is a focal point, of what we're going to be shipping. So, Joan, maybe you can give us just like, just like a quick sneak peek, because I don't want to ruin the thunder when people try this thing in the next, 24 or 48 hours, whatever. So let's see this.
Yeah. So here I've asked the AI to create a to-do table, but technically you could ask to add persistence on anything, and it will create migration files, and then it will prompt you to confirm whether you want to apply those changes to the table.
So, Joan, like before, or as it is right now, it would just show you usually the content of that file, like that SQL in the chat, and you'd have to copy it, go to Supabase, find the right tab and everything, and just paste it, right? So, what does it do instead?
So here you don't have to do any of that. The alternative is you have just a summary of what this change is all about. And then if you click the button, it's going to go to Supabase for you, so that you don't have to go anywhere else. You can stay in Bolt focused, and then it's live. That's
and pointing out that for like all those a little bit less technical people, it basically generates like a nice summary for like in plain English that will explain exactly what it does. Any security changes, as you can see on the screen here, like it tells you like, okay, this has been generated for security and so on and so forth. So really, not only like this is not only tailored and targeted for technical people and developers, but this is really for everyone and deeply integrated. Like no manual steps, smooth as butter.
It looks beautiful. I mean, I just the green. I mean, that pops. I like that a lot.
It's super.
Gotta be super. It's gotta be super. I'm really excited about it. And this is just kind of the beginning of the integrations, because I think what the magic thing about Bolt, just these agentic workflows, right, is having to just go and spin up all the glue code and connections between these things. that's what they can be really good at. So you think about Stripe. I mean, okay, I'm getting a little ahead of what we have announced, but I mean, it would be pretty cool, right? If if you're like, hey, I want this thing to have a subscriptions, and it's just like, great, what's your Stripe account? Awesome, done. I mean, like, you can kind of imagine, the stuff that's going to be possible here. And so this is where we're we're focusing a lot. So I'm excited to get this in everyone's hands, and okay, Sam V already ruined the surprise. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, get that off the screen. Get that off the screen. Yeah, no, it's yeah, and I get a shout out to our team. Our team's been doing. I mean, to give just a snapshot. I mean, like the scale. I mean, last week we had, it's like kind of another, record traffic week for every week. It's just growing higher of folks that are using Bolt, and I mean, keeping the servers online, and just like the GPUs and the inference, and just, there's just problems of scale with this stuff. I think it was like a week or two ago, kind of some numbers got published, and like Bolt is actually, the number 4 AI code gen tool, by usage or revenue in the world. And the list goes like JetBrains, GitHub Copilot, Cursor, and then us. And then you kind of look at the companies above us. I mean, they've got a lot more people than we do right now. We've got 20, and we're hiring. But it's like our teams, the folks in this call and the folks that are not, are just doing an amazing job of, not just scaling this thing, but also, I mean, this is pushing the limits of what we've seen in AI code gen, sort of agentic experiences. And it's beautiful. Yeah, I want to do a little Q&A here though. Because I think a lot of folks have had questions for us in the Supabase integration, and even in generally too. Feel free to throw any questions you got into the chat. I feel like in previous live streams we haven't spent, we always kind of get off and like, man, I wish we had a little more time to answer people's questions. So today we wanted to carve out a little bit of time to talk about Supabase and folks' thoughts and ideas there, and also just like generally if folks have questions for us. So we can pull some of those up. While we're pulling them up, there is another special guest today that no one has met for the first time, and that is Indigo. This is the MVP of MVPs. Hi, can you say hello? Yes, this is I was gonna say our mascot, but she's not our mascot. She should be our mascot though. She's a sweet one. If you hear a bark or something, it's not me. Turns out, if that'd be surprising. But okay, first question's up. Will the integration for work for current projects using Supabase? Great question.
Sean, you want to take it? Go take it. Don't take it.
No, so I think in the first phase, we're only going to have a newer project, but it's going to come really soon. I think that's the plan for next week, to have the ability to connect to existing project. And by existing project, I mean like an existing Bolt project and Supabase project, because you can have any combination of the two.
Amazing. Private beta for what?
Supabase integration.
So dumb. Private, yeah. That's the drop. That's a private Supabase integration.
I mean, I could talk more to it, but yeah, I mean, no.
Oh man, yeah. There's another comment that Eric, no Red Bull today, and it's like, yeah, I probably should. My brain's kind of going to wonky places. Yeah, there we go. There it is. Yeah, this is the private beta for Supabase. The Supabase integration we were just showing is what we're talking about. Yeah. Okay. What are the questions we got in here? I like this one. Sorry. I didn't. Well, we'll do this. When are we meeting? I just realized Pi hasn't been on one of these yet. We got to bring Pi on. Yeah, so Pi is the co-founder and CTO of the company, and Albert and I have known each other since I think before 13 or before 13. We learned how to code together when we were 13, and we've just been building stuff ever since. And for those who've kind of watched this, our live streams here for the past weeks or whatever, you'll kind of get the sense I'm kind of more the extrovert, and Albert is more the introvert. So we're kind of like the yin and yang, and so. I think we'll have to, explicitly invite / drag Albert on here to come say hi. I'm sure he'll love to be here, but Albert's also been keeping our servers online, so I think he's he's been keeping busy, which is like probably the number one thing. But yeah, we'll bring him on, and we'll bring Paitoshi Nakamoto on the next one. So cool. Kate, go ahead and pull up the other comment you had before I swapped it. Good question. Can we use Supabase as a secret vault so that we don't need to hard code configs? Is there already a way to manage secrets currently? This is a good question. I think I can lead off. So the in your env file in Bolt, you can put secrets in there, and those are not persisted publicly. So that is local, to your project. Dom, your eyes just went huge. I'm pretty. I think I'm correct there when I say that, right? Yep. Okay. Yeah. I was like, that. Yeah, that's true. That is true. If it's not, let me correct me now. But I'm that's how we built this in the Stacklets over the years. And Supabase though has its own built-in secret storage, for so your database and functions can access it or whatever have you. What do you say, guys? I think,
Well, I have to double check. So we built that into code flow. That is true. But I have to double check if that is the case today in Bolt, because it might not be, but
it is. Because I did check. I did check a couple of weeks ago on this, and okay. Well, we should triple check, I guess. But I did.
Okay.
You mean the env for non-owners? Yeah, that's true. Definitely.
Yeah, because I think I poked into that. But I think we had shipped that shortly after launch because. We had no idea.
The first change was to make a project not public by default, which was kind of from StackBits, how StackBits operates by default. But then we brought private env files. Yeah.
It's been so long. It's like I'm like it feels like a year ago that happened. Where I'm like, right, yeah, both projects were public by default, and people, no one, that was just an artifact of how Stacklets work, which is a lot of the use cases. People wanted the stuff public by default, so we had to flip that around. Okay. Here's a tiny Supabase UX recommendation. Make the action pop-up a different color than the dark gray. Maybe a lighter color stand out. A light gray with green buttons would work.
I think that's the plan for the primary button. So when you connect, for example, when you're asked to connect, that's the green button. When you ask to accept changes, I think so. It's very similar to how the error fixing works. That's that's the primary action you can take, and then canceling it, aborting is the secondary.
Love it.
I believe we was thinking of having a background before, but it didn't look good in the designs. But maybe a light shade could be good. But yeah.
I can do that. I can see that. Heck yeah. Hiring. Which roles? Great question. A lot. I think we're gonna have some more.
Everything.
Yeah. yeah. You name it. If the job post isn't up yet, it's gonna be there shortly.
We need everything, like web container, Bolt, name it, and we have a position for it.
There's some pain behind those words, Sam, as you're saying them. But I mean, it's what Sam's saying is extremely true. I mean, to handle the scale that we're currently, just every week that the number, it just keeps going up. So engineers, if you are a front end, back end engineer, specifically, TypeScript, Node.js. For front end like React, etc. We'd love to chat with you. We have, if you go to stacklets.com/careers, that is, maybe we can get a little banner going here. Do we have one already? I don't think we do. Here, let's go. Stacklets.com/careers. Going to go ahead and shamelessly shill, our hiring pipeline here.
I will say though that we're because we're also hiring for Web Container and we're hiring a design engineer, like Eric said, like front end more focused, but we don't currently have that on the careers page. So there's no opening. However, we're hiring for it.
Yep. And so I think for folks, if you're interested in working on this stuff, if we don't have a listing, feel free to email me directly, eric@stackblitz.com. Send along your resume, kind of send, what you do and why you're stoked about it. And, we'll, as we get those things spun up, I'll make sure that you're at the front of the queue as we're looking through this stuff. So, cannot underscore enough just kind of, the importance of the hiring side for us here. Cool. All right, let's pull this up. Does the Supabase close coupling cover integration, also authentication, as I had issues and have hybrid down Supabase auth and Firebase at the moment, I think, but I like that. I'm gonna start saying that at the Mo. It's a good little. Wouldn't work if you say at the mom, MOM, you know what I mean? Because it's like, that's the what? Like, but Mo, I like that. Okay. I think it does, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I know, so there's the ability to do authentication with the proper callback. I think we talked about this last week. We've got some, we're going to be landing some stuff that enables that, but I believe this, engineering folks, you're on the ground floor of this stuff. I mean, this is 100% part of the magic, right?
I was going to jump on that one. I think, we actually already know about that. We've been kind of, we have the ability to open preview in a separate tab, which I think is a sort of initial step to unblock authentication, because if you try to do authentication via magic link or via a third party, basically nothing that use password and username and password. Everything else, or is it? Oh, I can't talk tonight. Everything other than username password, it's usually going to fail. But once we have the previews in separate tab, it should work.
Amazing. Heck yeah. I think the answer to this question, will Supabase logging with Magic Link email work now? And the answer is, with that, Siobhan, yes. Yep, that is absolutely going to work. So that'll be sweet. Will the Supabase integration allow for optimizing and ensuring backend and frontend are properly working? I think, yeah, right. I mean, I think a lot of, if you've been using Supabase to date, I think that, without kind of like a deeper integration, some of these things can kind of, Bolt's ability to like have really good bidirectional telemetry and debugging is, there's just less that we can do there. But with this sort of deep integration, we can go and capture more things and provide additional instructions to our AI agent on how to actually solve this stuff, right? So I think the answer is yeah. I mean, it's there's no silver bullet or something, right? As far as if bugs come up or whatever, but this is this is all about providing a extremely seamless, reliable experience, right? Like having these things kind of directly integrated. So, will Supabase integration work when opening a Git project? I think there's two answers here. One, yes. If you open a public repo and you it pulls into Bolt, it'll fork it, and then you can add your Supabase credentials. And if that project uses Supabase, then it'll automatically put in your API keys and whatever. One of the things that we're going to be working on, soon or next, is the ability to open up a repo and commit back to it and that sort of thing. And in that case, also, when that comes out, that would also be yes. And if you already have a Supabase, you can just kind of configure it and et cetera. But I think and so engineering, correct me if I'm wrong, if I misspoke. If I misspoke, then I said it. So we now have to just make it true.
That's how you did it with Supabase as well.
Typical Eric stuff.
It reminds me of there's a friend of mine who he worked in, I think it was like the UK government or something, and I can't remember what it was. They were like talking, about how many people they were going to admit to the country on visas or something like that. And they screwed up, and it was supposed to be like, I don't know what the number was, but instead of like 5,000, they said 50,000, right? But it was publicly announced, and so they're like, what do we do? And it's like, well, maybe the easiest way is to just make it true. So that's like what they did. I was like, wow, so that's how government policy can work, huh? Like, that's interesting. Like, that's crazy. Anyways, random aside, but yeah, so there we go. So what I just said is the truth, and it will be the truth. Go and pull this guy up. Will I need to set up a Supabase account? Yes. Yeah, definitely. That is definitely a requirement. Unlike the Netlify one we have, where you kind of like deploy to it and then you can claim it optionally later, with Supabase upfront, you'll have to like create an account and which I think they have like a one-click login and like a nice free tier sort of thing. And they're good folks. We like the Supabase folks a lot. So. Who would win a coding contest, Sam Denti or Sonnet? I know what we're doing on next week's office hours. I know exactly what we're, and I'm bringing some good money. I'm bringing some good money to throw down on this. I love it. I love it. Let's see. How does the Supabase integration play with an ORM? Thinking Drizzle. This is a good question. And folks, what I actually I'm not actually super. So like I guess I always thought Drizzle was kind of more of like a direct Postgres thing versus a Supabase thing. But am I wrong there? Is like Supabase an adapter that Drizzle can do or something?
You can use Drizzle and have a direct connection to Supabase.
I mean, Drizzle is like an ORM library, so it doesn't matter. Like it's like writing code. So as long as Bolt can write Drizzle ORM, that's like Supabase just works.
Cool. So yeah, the answer is yes. Heck yeah. Big question. Will you be opening Bolt as an API? Okay, so I actually, some folks have asked us this, and I have not gotten the clarity I was hoping for. What is this one actually? What's the intention? Like, what sort of API do you want for Bolt? Like, is the idea you want to like add integrations into Bolt, kind of like what we're doing with Supabase, or you like, hey, I want to spin up, a Bolt sort of thing on demand? Like, I'm kind of curious what the intention is. I don't know if Fazul is still here, but yeah, that's kind of my question. I think either are cool, but just to know more.
Actually, I had also someone reach out to me about this, and for them, it was about being able to log in via your credential from Bolt, and then they had a various idea about accessing some metadata in Bolt.
Gotcha. Interesting. It sounds like Fazul, they want AFK product making based on screenshot. Well, I suppose like right now you can kind of give Bolt a screenshot and make it. And maybe there's a relevant cutover point, because Tomek, I think the tip that you showed that you made for this week, I think that'd be an interesting one to show, because that actually is kind of an, if you want to spin up a project on demand, it's kind of a way to do that basically. But let me go ahead and let me get rid of the banner there. Want to make sure there's like one or two other comments I want to hit before we show the tip. How are you handling your support? This has been a huge challenge. We've been going and staffing up our support lines dramatically. So if you work in if you're a product advocate or customer success, customer engineering, we'd love to chat with you. Like we're gonna be hiring a number of folks here beyond the ones we already have. So this has been the bottleneck really for the company for the past 9-10 weeks or whatever here. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
We're hiring at the Mo. That's basically the gist.
Wait, you said you were hiring what?
At the Mo. at the moment.
It's because at the moment,
At
in
the
the previous
moment.
comment, at the moment.
At the guy. I thought you were saying Elmo. I was like, we're hiring Elmo? What are you talking about? Like, he's cool. I like him. Can you imagine him? You're responding to support request. Hi guys, So cool. Okay, love that. And let's see what else. I like this. Mauricio, are we doing any little free elf tokens? Asking for a friend. Oh, I like this idea. Yeah, it is. Tis the season. So hey, why not? I like it. Maybe we'll have something to announce in the next week or so here. I dig. Cool. Okay, with that, Tomek, maybe you can show the tip that you made for this week real quick.
So I think, what you referenced, Eric, was like about the API question. So it's kind of like connecting something to Bolt in that sense, right? So
Yeah.
the tip is basically, I can actually show it live instead of showing the video. Okay. And I'll share this entire screen. Okay, and so basically, when you have a bolt.new, you can add the question mark and prompt. And if you say something here like make me notes app is okay, but let's make something else like a timer app, whatever that is.
Wait, to make we're not seeing your screen.
You're not? Okay, that's worrying. I had my tab ready and everything. Oh, wait, I don't know why I'm sharing the screen. Thank you.
There you
Whoever made this happen.
I did. You can thank me forever, Tomek.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Right. So if you add the question mark and prompt and say something like make me that's maybe boring and to-do list. That thing you wrote there, it will be populated as the first prompt, as the initial prompt, and Bolt will just start working on it. So while this may not be like the ideal UX, you might like prefer to just like quickly open Bolt and just write that prompt in the text area. It allows for like interesting integrations. For instance, I actually contacted the person who did this another like Bolt community website, and I'm switching to my community shoutouts now, not really, but like this is a good implementation of this. So like they have like this prompt generator, and you can use like, okay, you want to make a REST API for something. So like you have the whole like form that suggests you like what type of information you want to add here. And before yesterday, what it would do was like just generate prompt, and it would give you this thing to copy paste into Bolt. But now there's like open in Bolt button. So when you click it, it will put this whole prompt here.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
There you go. Right. So that's one use case. The other one that I'm using personally is if you're using, for example, Raycast or a similar tool, you can create a quick link. And I have a Bolt me, a quick link, and I'll make me to-do app again because I'm out of ideas clearly. And it will just open again this URL with this prompt per field. And this is, if you're interested, it's as easy as just making something like this, right? And Yep. So really small but cool, powerful enabler for rendering Bolt.
So Tomek, one thing I've been meaning to show you this actually. So take a look at this. So in the way I have it set up in Chrome, I have it as a search engine.
Ooh,
So you go to settings,
that's
search
cool.
engines, Bolt. The shortcut is Bolt, and then you put in Bolt.new prompt equals %s. When you actually are in your search bar, you can go Bolt tab, and I can say make me a to-do app. Hit enter, and that's all you got to do.
Nice.
Bolt, make me a holiday. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so that's just want to show that because at least for me, like I haven't gotten on the Raycast train yet. I hear it's incredible, but I do use a browser. I do use a browser, and so anyway, so it saves you an enter and a click and a another typing and then another enter. So this is what you want to do. Chrome settings, search engines, add a new search engine, and you can have you could make the shortcut B. I mean, it doesn't, that can be whatever, and you should tab after you type it, and then bada bing, bada boom, it works. It works. So, heck yeah. All right. So that was actually really cool to see. So maybe Tomek, what was that app? I guess let me pull up the link. Was that this one? So
that was from Tiendo Wells. So sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name.
Yep. Yeah, I'll pull it up here. This is cool. Heck yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let me. Boom. Super cool. Yeah, that's an awesome integration there. You just like click it and open it. That's incredible. That's awesome. Okay. And Tomek, I'm going to pull up the first one you had made here, or the first one you had listed.
Okay, yeah, I can talk about this because first of all, it's targeted to me, it looks like. And the second one is like, I really like, it's a very, again, like a simple app that does one thing, but it's like created from like personal point of view. And you should like, I would recommend at least everyone to see James's like walkthrough where he explains the context and then how to use this app. It's like the app itself is great, but also like his explainer is a great way of showing what the app is about, because sometimes the video even doesn't cut it. So if you want your app to, and like he got like quite a lot of interest, people are asking for this to be deployed and things like that. And I'm betting like a lot of that is because he actually took the effort to also talk about this.
This is really cool. Yeah, I watched, I think, the first minute of this, but I actually want to watch this thing front to back. This is super awesome. Okay, let me go and pull up this one.
Oh, so for this one, I actually had the demo. But like, if you go to this, if you click this link and go to the first video, it shows you I actually have this. So this is a little extension to Chrome that adds snippets to Bolt.
Oh, that's sick.
So instead of writing this whole like paragraph that you might add to every app, you might have a snippet, and it comes with like pre-populated snippets, and you can also manage them. So you can add your own snippets in the browser. So like you just install it as extensions. Like it's a super cool experiment, really.
Yeah. Okay. You know what this reminds me of? It's Reddit enhancement suite. Bolt has its own Reddit enhancement suite type thing. This is sick. Okay. I need to install this and try this. This is so cool. This is made by Erwin. Okay.
Yeah, and it's on Product Hunt, so go if you like this idea, upvote it.
Yeah, please throw it an upvote. I'll have to log in or whatever. But okay, I'm gonna do that after this. Okay, cool. I think I might have already upvoted actually. Okay, and then I think this is the last but not least one from you, Tomek.
Ooh, yes.
Whoa, holy cowzola.
Yes. I know.
Oh, wow, dang. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I missed this one. Okay, what is this, Tomek? What are we looking at?
All right, so this is something that you're all using if you're using Bolt, but probably like 99% of you. And actually, we also often forget about it or don't know about it. But part of the magical experience of Bolt and why it's so different than other tools, besides the UX, is the engine that powers it, and it's called Web Containers, and it's something that our team created a couple of years ago. So this is a great thread that explains what it is and why this is so crucial to the success of Bolt. So it's a bit technical, but already approachable. So highly recommend it.
I take 0 credit here, or all close to 0 credit. Yeah, this the founding engineers here built Web Container. It's incredible.
Who are actually here on the call, right?
Yeah. So, just to be clear, the folks on this call were the ones that built this. I think the only thing I contributed was the only meaningful code I wrote was the local service thing, which I think was actually used as a reference and not actually, used wholesale. Yeah.
We ripped it out, Eric. We ripped it out.
How could you? It was beautiful.
Copy paste. Actually, copy paste.
Yeah, love it. This is super cool. And I think this is, it's with Bolt's kind of popularity with the past like 9-10 weeks. There's lots of other things kind of popping up. And the thing, so what Web Containers really enables, right, is like that you won't find anywhere else, is you can run any tool chain and you can actually edit the code yourself, and the reason that that's kind of unique to us is if you're using cloud VMs to do all the work instead of your actual end device, it's extremely expensive to keep those things running. And it's also a security and billing risk if people are installing, crypto miners and So folks have to kind of nerf the experience, around. So whereas with Bolt, you can pop into the code editor and just be editing the code directly. You can export, you can re-import it, can run any framework. It's not like some lockdown thing. It's like not proprietary. So this is really cool. I mean, this is, clearly Morgan did an incredible job here. Laying out the kind of the technical underpinnings. I'm going to read this after this, but so I can't believe I missed this one. Heck yeah. Okay. I think Tomek, that's the end of your picks. Kate, I believe the next ones are from you. Let's go and pull this up. Oop. Come on. There we go. All right. Go ahead.
Cool. Yeah. This one is a selling solar panels, and it's really, if you click on the link, it's really nice looking.
Whoa.
Ooh, look at that. Nice.
Whoa. That's crazy. Oh, I guess, see, they used Minimax to actually make the video. That's sick. That's an AI video generation thing. Wow. The site's made with AI. The image, the video's made with AI. This is, wow. Dang, this is really cool. Look, what?
The CEO is made with AI.
This is like some Harry Potter newspaper stuff here. Damn, this is really well done. This is really well done. I mean, this is incredible. I love the design. I mean, it's beautiful. Because I think I saw the tweet. I didn't, and I was like, God, that looks great. I didn't click to it. I mean, wow, this is like a classic case of like, don't just take the book at its cover sort of thing. I mean, this is like, holy cow. I would be really curious how long it took. Is this Michael who made it?
It's in the tweet. Under an hour.
Holy.
Oh.
What? Dude, if you wanted to pay a firm to make this, I mean, you're talking, I mean, $5,000 minimum, to get a web dev shop or something to do this. I mean, minimum. Or a month or two. I mean,
and the web shop probably created it with Bolt, and then you pay $5,000.
Listen,
that's how it goes these days, right?
We'll sell to either side of it, right? Like, I mean, the laws of supply and demand will normalize to a new point. But until then, I mean, and this is what we see, like in dev shop and some of the previous live streams, people that are freelancers or dev shops, I mean, the arbitrage opportunity of using Bolt to make web apps is incredible. But on the flip side, folks that are savvy, enough to use Bolt, I mean, can just do it themselves. Like this is super cool. This is unbelievable. Amazing pick. This is, yeah, I'm really glad you pulled this one up, because like, dang, this is wild, Okay. Here's another one from Kate.
Yes. Seasonal app. Call with Santa. I guess you can call Santa all year, but this one is Calls with Santa. And I think in the thread there was a promo code, because they are charging, which I love, but it's
love to see it.
If you want to try it for free. And you can get a call with Santa. I was trying to do it earlier. Then I had to jump on this live stream, but I am going to do this right after this call. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
This is incredible. Oh, this is so sweet. Wow. This is so cool. Wow.
I want to do this, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to do this too. This is, I mean, I love just look at the details of the site. I mean, just like the font, right? I mean, the font, like my mouse, by the way, I don't know if you can tell, my mouse is a snowflake. like this is, look at that, even that little thing, dude, this is crazy. Is that $10? $10. I mean, listen, the North Pole is missing critical infrastructure. That's pretty cheap. I mean, I don't think they have Starlink up there yet either. So this is like, wow. Wow. Really cool. I had not seen this one yet either. This is amazing. Okay. I'm going to watch some of these after this. I like that effect. Dude, this is a real carousel too. I mean, dang, that's unbelievable. Well, sorry, but I'm kind of mind blown. This is, this is really well done. Really well done. Love it. Okay. Good stuff. So this is from Jonathan Hessing over on X. So here are my picks for this week. So I wanted to give a little spot. I think I might have featured Wes on, he might have been one of my picks in previous weeks, but I thought this was really cool. So there's a lot of these kind of, Bolt starter project sites kind of popping up. Tomek had pointed at one, which I don't think was Bolt starter, right, Tomek? I think it was a different one. No?
Yeah, that was a different one.
Yeah. So this is Wes, and this one's really well done. And I like what Wes did, where he's actually, in one click, you can see the immediate deployed version of this thing without having to spin up a dev server. I thought that was a really nice part of the experience here. It's like, okay, the AI chat interface. Okay, what about that? Okay, what about this admin dashboard? Let me go ahead and see, the live preview of it. Okay, yeah, this is really cool. Okay, yeah, it's, I guess, if anyone's ever looked at like template sites, I feel like this is a common feature where they have like a kind of a deployed version to instantly look at. Just, really, really cool. So if you're like kind of wanting to scroll through stuff and check stuff out, I mean, this is one, the site's well done too. I thought that was an excellent piece of functionality. Oh, and look at that. I didn't know this, but I think it looks like Wes is Wes running Bolt Bootcamp. He's Bolt Bootcamp. Let's go. I wasn't aware of this. This is incredible. Did you see the lightning that just popped up? I love it. God, man, Wes is on fire. This is so good. Okay. Anyway, so Bolt Bootcamp. I wasn't aware of it. This is part of my picks. Bolt starter. It's part of the whole Wes's Bolt take over the Bolt world strategy. I love it. Let me go pull up my other pick here. So this one was cool. So this Sanket posted this in the Bolt.new builders community, but URL to UI, so you can put in an image and it'll pop out a prompt that will let you build the app. So I thought it was really cool. So, and this is I just thought that was a really cool project he made, and I want to throw a like here, but did a really good job making this thing. And Sanket's you should follow Sanket. He's just been making tons of really cool stuff. Anyway, so just saw this one, wanted to flag that. And to wrap things up, the last thing I want to show you all, I don't know if you missed it, Supabase is running a hackathon. And so they've got I'll show Tyler's tweet here. Build an awesome app with Bolt.DIY and Supabase and win a limited edition Supabase swag pack. Deadline is next Sunday, so that's coming up. So through this week, if you make something amazing with Bolt and Supabase, you can win a special limited edition Supabase swag pack. And we saw that and we were like, okay, that's pretty cool. It's so cool. We'd like to contribute. And I think in previous office hours, we've had folks say, is there a Bolt hoodie that can, does that exist? The answer is it has not existed until now. I want to show you this. This thing is sick. So we said, all right, let's up the ante. Winner will receive the first hoodie to ever have the Bolt logo on it. There is never in the history of the planet, of the universe, of mankind to have a sweatshirt or hoodie with the Bolt logo on it. This is the first one ever. And it's also got a special message on each sleeve kind of commemorating all this. So we call this the Bolt Build the Future hoodies. So I go and zoom in here. First of all, look at that. That is fuego. Well, I mean, see, it's fuego on a very cold environment. It will keep you warm. It is a fuego hoodie. So if you're in a cold climate, this is especially for you. But take a look at this. Look at that. That is sweet. I'm so tempted to just kind of get one of these for myself, honestly. But I that would ruin the sanctity of whoever wins this thing getting the first sweatshirt to ever have the logo on it. But I think is on the right sleeve. I'm gonna look here. So on your right sleeve, it says Build the Future, and on the left sleeve, it says Bolt X Supabase. So, anyways, I think our folks did a great job pulling this together. And so we've upped the ante. So not only are you going to get limited edition swag pack from Supabase, but you're also going to get a limited edition hoodie from the Bolt folks over here. And we're really stoked on it. So if you haven't already started building something amazing for the Supabase hackathon, you should. There's never been a better time than now to start. So with that, I think that's a wrap today here for what we wanted to show you all and chat about. But yeah, I agree. So we should buy a blue hoodie for our whole team. So yes, and I can't ruin it we have a holiday gift for our team planned, and I don't want to ruin it for the team. I may have seen it and had to kind of signed off on the budget or whatever. But anyways, yeah, we got some cool stuff for the folks from the folks on the Bolt side. Don't worry, like everyone on video here who's watching from back at HQ, there's something really cool coming. We'll show it in the office hours when we all have it. So, anyways, good stuff. I think with that, really excited to see everyone's feedback on the Supabase integration when you get your hands on it in the next 24, 48 hours. And I mean, next week the hits are just going to keep on coming. I mean, this is just the beginning. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. Had a blast as always. And, feel free to, give us a shout online if you have any ideas or thoughts, questions we didn't get to. But with that, have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you later. Bye, everyone. Oh, real quick. Can you repeat Eric's email or how to contact? Yes. Give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and throw a banner real quick. Eric at .com. Go ahead. That is my email address. So feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll make sure we will look at all the stuff that comes in, and we'll get back to you, promptly. But yep, we'd love to hear from you. If you dig what we're working on, and especially if you're working in engineering or customer success support, design, marketing, go to market, we love to hear from you. So hit us up. We are come join Team Stack Blitz. So all right, with that, have a great one, y'all. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you online, and we'll certainly see you next Wednesday at the same time. Let's go. Bye, everyone.
Bye.